issues around communications can be improved, particularly between business and government, in terms of ecosystems going forward. I think in a nutshell, that's a summary that I can give.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Next table, who would like to brief?
Okay. So we also, well, hello everybody. I'm pleased to work with our, I'm also part of the Volunteers team.
We also have here a table of experts, I would say, on biodiversity. Different works. There are many international. There's one international cooperation on wetlands. We have conservation. People working in conservation. Also, we have NGOs on conservation management companies. We have one group that works in forestry. And in general, they talk about partnership with business. We talk about how to go from theory to practice in ecosystem formation. Some of the members of today will talk about cultural training about biodiversity and ecosystems and how to motivate business. So I think we are talking about a partnership. Also, we talk about partner engaged communities. So I think these are the visions of the people from this campus. Great, thank you, Teresita. Next table, Paulo, maybe.
Hi everyone, my name is Paulo and I work for ArcelorMittal Brazil Mining. Violent, I think I'm in trouble here. When I said that I work for a mining, they get quite angry with that, but it's okay. We have most of us here came from NGOs, and they have a very good background in biodiversity and ecosystem, as I could see from them. And the expectation of them is they want to learn about the point of view of the sectors and the business and ecosystem, because it's, as we're talking about, it's quite different from my point of view of sustainable development. It's quite different of them. So I think we have a lot of things to share and learn with each other in here.
Good, thank you. It's good to see that there was discussions already at the table. It's good.
Okay, hello, my name is Laura. I'm from the Communications Industry from Lyon. And in our table, so we have from the non-experience to the experience. We have NGOs, we have ICN representative, we have researchers. And basically, what they want to learn get from the campus is to know whether is that something that they can use, and then also want to hear how other people think about the itself.
That's good. Thank you, Mira. So it was good to know a little bit more what were your expectations for this session. And I think that there's a lot of points that will be covered throughout the session, and for the discussions as well. We will have a coffee break, well, it's only 15 minutes, but even after the session you'll be able also to discuss between yourselves, but also with the future leaders team that we've got here. So we've got 9 professionals, or actually 10 professionals in the room. We'll be happy also to share with you their experience. Then I'm going to move to the next session, which will be facilitated by Mariana Borges from an IUCN Business and Biodiversity Program. And I'm realizing that she's not.
Do raise your hand and I can
Violaine mentioned, I work for the IUCN Global Business and Biodiversity Program, and in the Business and Biodiversity Program, we've been using engagements with business as a conservation tool, as a way to deliver on our conservation outcomes, and we've been working on mainstreaming that throughout the IUCN Secretariat. And today I'm talking to you really from our experience, and having heard just right now, you know, the richness in the room. I know everyone here will have their own experience, their own knowledge. So I hope that together we can come to a common understanding, you know, if business and ecosystems, if there's a gap between the two. So just to give you an overview of what I want to talk to you about, well, basically I'd like to start with, you know, why is it that we should engage business? And then, you know, how can we make the business case for action to businesses? I'll then summarize a bit about how IUCN engages with business as a case study, you know, and how the path that we've taken to engage business. And then I'd like to engage you in a discussion about how working, you know, what your perceptions are on working with business, and how can we scale up the good experiences. So why engage business? Well, I mean, from our perspective, business is part of the problem and therefore needs to be part of the solution. We've been, you know, working with business for a long time, and we've felt that if you work together, it's much easier to get to where we want to be and to achieve better outcomes. But also, by working with leading companies, we're able to tap into whole sectors and really engage in, you know, getting our messages across to all sectors. We also find that, you know, that market-based approaches can support conservation, and, you know, we live in a global economy, and we need to use the markets to further our conservation outcomes. We also think that, you know, conservation and profits aren't mutually exclusive, but we need to work together to find, you know, what are the trade-offs and how can we make sure that working together we find the best way to live within the limits of our planet. And finally, we think that working with business helps us leverage decision makers and help decision makers make the right choices.
Question, please.
Yeah.
Sorry. Are we going to have access to this PowerPoint presentation after the course?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, I can. If you registered in the system as participants to this campus, you receive it afterwards. So I have sent all the slides.
In terms of the business case, I don't think this is certainly not what a business case invented by IUCN. This is basically a collection of what the literature is on, you know, what is a business case for business to engage in biodiversity and ecosystems and managing biodiversity and ecosystem resources. And I've divided this into risks and opportunities. And from a business perspective, some of the key risks of not engaging on biodiversity and ecosystem conservation are related to operational issues, like, for example, in terms of, you know, they're increasing the scarcity of resources, increasing, we all need to live within the limits of the planet, and so if you don't manage your resources wisely, they're going to run out, so you will run out of business. Then there are market-related pressures and risks which relate to, you know, customers are increasingly aware of biodiversity and conservation, biodiversity and ecosystem issues, and increasingly demanding companies to act in a responsible manner. There are also regulatory issues. There's increasing regulation of how businesses should be managing the resources they're responsible for. And then there's also clearly a reputational issue, and I don't think I need to go into that. And then finally, in terms of access to capital, there's also, you know, IFC, for example, has come out with the new Performance Standard 6 that focuses on making sure that businesses are, you know, are offsetting their impacts, and also making sure that they're having no net loss on the environment. So these are some of the risks that businesses think about when they decide to engage in business ecosystems. In terms terms of opportunities, these are many. I think that probably from a business perspective, and the businesses in the room can correct me if I'm wrong, one of the big issues will be cost savings. And in a time of economic recession, this is clearly, something that is very important. And in the long run, managing your resources wisely will mean that you will have cost savings. There's also an opportunity to differentiate your brand, and this relates again to customer demand. So for customers to start asking for more environmental goods, they will go for the brands that are demonstrating that they're doing the right thing. From the regulatory perspective, obviously if you preempt regulation, it will cost you less in the long run. And then, there's also the issue of social license to operate. Especially companies who are working on the ground need to make sure that they maintain their relationships with communities and that they are doing right by their local environment. And of course, then there's the opportunities, the new markets, market opportunities related to biodiversity and ecosystems, and also attracting and retaining employees. So as I mentioned, within IUCN, we've been working with business informally, I guess, for a long time. And since 2004, we've had a business engagement strategy to work with business. These are some of the companies we have engaged with in the past. Just to give you an overview, there are many more. This is just, a few. And basically, the focus of our work has been to integrate biodiversity and ecosystems into the operations and decision-making of these companies. We also have a memorandum of understanding with the World Business Council, and as a platform for 200 plus leading companies, it's also a very important mechanism for getting the messages across to the wider business community. Very recently, we've approved a new IUCN business engagement strategy, which really focuses on ensuring that we can achieve transformational change within companies and at the sectoral level in how biodiversity is valued and managed by business. And so this new engagement strategy aims to really structure and capitalize on the way we've engaged business in the past, and we're focusing on 3 key areas of work. One, which is really about working on the ground at the landscape and seascape level to ensure that there are changes at that level. The second one focuses on really mainstreaming biodiversity throughout supply chains. And finally, we are also working on how we can leverage public and financial policies to ensure that we have a level playing field for businesses to operate in the most responsible way possible. The way that we implement the business engagement strategy within IUCN is we have this series of guidelines for business engagement where we have to go through a very strong due diligence process to ensure that the companies we work with are really, the right companies, leading companies in their sector, to ensure that we can have the best opportunities for scaling up. And so, what I would propose now is I would like to really hear from you on your experiences of engaging business and what you think, business awareness of the issues, and when I say issue, I mean of biodiversity and ecosystems, but also of their impacts and dependencies on ecosystems. And then I'd like to hear from you on what your hurdles have been in working with business and how you've overcome these. And I think that what I'd like to really capitalize in this discussion is, what is it that works, and how can we together come up with maybe a list of key things that really work when you're engaging business. And you'll see that on your tables you have some very small white cards. And so what I would propose is for you to maybe either at the table level or in pairs or trios, just have a quick discussion about what your perception is business acting? But then really what I would like to come out of this discussion with is, from your perspective and experience, what is it that works? And if you could write 1 or 2 key points in one of these little papers on what works, and then we'll pin them here, and we can, at the coffee break, maybe go back and have a look at what are different things that you find from your experience working and engaging with business. And if you do have any questions before that, please.
divide into pairs and freeze and have a conversation to answer those questions.
Exactly, and then capture on those papers what works. And 2 or 3 maybe per table, and then we'll pin them up on the board.
So I think they all come together in terms of the regulatory pressures that are coming on business. I mean, it's one of the, you will have cost savings because of the long term. I mean, I think they are all
the system process modifications.
From my experience, especially working with these companies that are mining companies working large reports, they work in these horizons of 50, 100 years. And there, when they're looking at upgrading, if they're talking about technology fixes, for example, if they're really making their technology less cutting edge and more efficient, they really know that they're really increasing their working, for example, with tools and realize that they're increasingly making the machines cement production less, will be less costly. So the investment up front is a big investment. I mean, I think it's our own household item. When you buy a fridge that's energy savings, it might be more expensive.
Can I just take off? The point about this is to me is that sometimes business they have limited resources. They need help with locations, sustainability. So it depends on which business and business you have. Sometimes as possible business it's in line with the business was selling.
I didn't get the asking what? I've been because of the regulatory requirements, if they are, if they have to comply with, because it's all government follow principles and reason dams, because the government, our government is developing not control very high, and to even go through legal processes effectively if they do not comply with the law. It's corruption. And in our country we have very high finances and very much hard there's no way. How can they act? If they do something, it's because of responsibility, social cooperation. Social cooperation. It is actually we're losing very high biodiversity. 1,000 hectares forest, primary forest, really
I mean, it's multinational companies or local companies, it doesn't matter. We see the same attitude from both.
That's why it's terrible that I use this actually
Some of these companies.
Yeah, Rio Tinto.
It's so show.